to fiscal watch, then full emergency in 2013. Lieutenant Governor Mary Taylor was in town yesterday. She met with people at the Blue Wolf Tavern in Boardman. She's one of the 2 Republican candidates running for Ohio governor. From the all-new and 2018 Power Chevrolet Buick GMC of Calcutta, Ohio newsroom, I'm Dave Price.
Our next update at 1:30. Just ahead, more stimulating talk from the O'Charlie's Digital Studios. $9.99 menu, 9 great meals, 1 great price. O'Charlie's.
Tune in every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. for the Mahoning Valley Sportsman Show, hosted by Mike Craig. Proudly brought to you by Bolt Construction. Over 35 years of doing things right in the gas and oil industry and airport gathering systems. Online at boltconstruction.cc.
It's SUV sale time at Fairway Ford in Canfield. With over 150 Ford Escapes and Explorers available. We have them all, including 4-wheel drives and front-wheel drives, all at great sale prices. Like a new 2018 Ford Escape SUV for only $19,900. And new 2018 Ford Explorer XLT SUVs for only $29,900. See us at fairwayfordohio.com or 330-533-FORD. Fairway, that's the way we do business.
When you see 570 WKBN broadcasting live around the valley, stop by and spin the Pizza Hut prize wheel for a chance to win prizes. All day, every day, 2 pizzas, $5.99 each with 2 toppings each. No one out delivers the Hut. No one out pizzas the Hut.
You're driving down the road and you hit a pothole, then another pothole, then you hit a big pothole. It's time to call Flynn's Tire and Auto Service and schedule an appointment for a free wheel alignment check. And if you do need alignment, go to flynnstire.com for a $10 off coupon. While you're at Flynn's, get a free 15-point visual maintenance check for any other potential problems. You can get your car repaired anywhere, but doesn't it make sense to go to Flynn's, named top shop in all of North America? The next time you need car care, go to Flynn's Tire and Auto Service.
And tell them Flinny sent you.
Hi, this is Dan Rivers. Americans, we are a busy lot, huh? Always on the move. In the car, in the office, working around the house. We can't sit still. So how do you, as a marketer, connect with those moving targets? Radio. It reaches 93% of Americans each week. People just don't have the time to sit and watch TV. So when you want to connect with all those constantly moving targets, get AM/FM working for you. Just go to iHeartMedia.com.
Who's on and when? See our on-air lineup when you go to 570WKBN.com. Brought to you by Burnett Pools, Spas, and Hot Tubs. Need a furnace and AC checkup? Call Mazza Heating and Cooling in Girard, your factory-authorized Bryant dealer. Now, the Storm Team 27 forecast.
Rain showers will develop into the early afternoon with temperatures climbing into the mid-70s. Scattered rain showers will be around this evening and overnight with temperatures sliding back into the lower 40s. In the Storm Team 27 Weather Center, I'm Alex George.
It's 78 degrees.
All right, welcome everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. I am Joe Danier, owner of Youngstown Computer, and we do this on Saturdays. Pretty much bringing everybody into the fold and talking about things that interest us in the computer industry. And we invite you guys all along for the ride. The cool thing about this industry is that there's so much to it, and the depth is pretty vast that you can pretty much pick any spot, dive in, and start getting familiarity. A lot in our industry use a lot of acronyms and big words, and a lot of the concepts go, fleeting right over your head. We slow things down a little bit, and we kind of talk about it more on a practical level, so that you know how this stuff, applies to you, and how you can take what we talk about and use it in your everyday life. And I hope in every program, and everybody on the spectrum, the people who just got started, and the people who have been in the industry forever, I hope that every program gives you a little bit that you didn't know. So you go away with every program having learned something. And we made that sort of our model with getting into the computer industry back when we started, and we leave education no matter where we go. So whether or not it's a user that got themselves into trouble and now they know more and how to, defend against it next time, or they just learn a little bit more about what they were dealing with, because I can't help but talk a little bit about the stuff that we end up getting into. And so we usually have these sort of activist trends where when things are going on in the marketplace, we hear of a hack or there's a security flaw. We talk about it in hopes of arming you that when you see this stuff on your own, we might be able to save a couple of you from going down a path that is painful. And I'm talking both financially painful and also, time. Whether or not you're implementing new technology or you're learning about technology or your technology broken, it is all a time sink. Okay, so when you're tinkering, you might not look at it as a time sink because you get to play. You get to buy new tools and toys and mess with it, and hours go by while you're trying to figure stuff out and get familiar with the new technology. And that's the fun part of what it is that we do. The other half of that is when things aren't working right, and you have to spend an afternoon trying to figure out how and why. And logical thinkers, linear thinkers have a pretty easy time with this because it's pretty math-based. It's pretty, cut and dry, black and white, that kind of thing. So if you eliminate variables and you know a little bit about what you're dealing with, you can usually come up with the problem or, what's going on. And that's why I excelled at this market as much as I did, because I was, a vanilla linear thinker. I can take just about any problem and distill it down to a math equation and make the whole world, have it make sense just based on numbers. And so where you can see that translated to technology and computers, because if you come to me with any problem, I put it through the same machine to come up with an answer on the end. So I'm not where I use Google like everybody else, I'm not a Googler where, I want to find out the answer. And, where that's valuable and all, I want to know what causes the problem. I want to figure out my own answer and the best way of doing it. If we just kind of lean on other people and take their answers and apply them, we don't end up learning enough about these things. So you got a bunch of us. Okay, so think about it. I hated AOL for the longest time. And reason being is because the AOL was so easy that it hid what was really going on from you. So you never had to actually learn about what was going to happen. So then you were reduced to always being in an environment that was sterilized and that was, sort of like chewed up already. You didn't learn anything. So if I took you out of that environment, you kept referring back to things that AOL did and, sort of referring to them as they were a thing. You didn't even know what the internet was because the internet and messaging and email were all one big thing to you, right? Because that's how it was being served to you that way. So that's what way you thought it was. And so, in this industry, it's really easy for people like on my side of the table to dumb it down to a level where I just do all your thinking for you and you just sit in the seat and be a user, versus when I go in the field, I'm the opposite of that, where, I'm not going to be around in 20 minutes. So I got to tell you the next time you go through this that you approach it different because now you have a little bit better of an understanding. So we built a whole company around that education and taking you through the process of learning, taking the intimidation away so that when you started embarking on these new things, that these toys and these messing around was a fun experience and it got you even, hungrier for more and more. And so, like I said, a whole industry popped up around this and a whole marketplace popped up around this, and we're kind of just getting started. So any of you out there that are just getting started, let's take that veil of intimidation away so that you can really not necessarily, I don't want you to trust in this, okay? What I want you to do is I want you to know your limitations, but I want you to be okay with getting into, new things. Don't be afraid of it just because you haven't done it. So I'm taking all you AOL users, and I'm going to say, hey, I'm taking AOL away, and I want you just to know what the internet is, and I know what messaging is, and I want you to know what shopping is, so that you can learn each individual thing on its own without me having to take the scary parts away, because at the same time that I take the scary parts away, I also take the valuable side away too, and you don't get smarter. So long and short of it is we use this show to collaborate that way. So if you have any experiences out there that you want to talk about and just openly, where I can't say that I have all of the answers, at least I could put them through that distillery and try to get lots of questions churning. And maybe even if we don't get to answer your question, we at least get to talk about the principles of that question, and all of us get to collectively learn. So 330-729-9977 is the phone number. And you can text me all program long, 333-1570, and I will check those text messages along the show today. So let's go take some phone calls. Let's go to Bill first. Bill, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
Hi, I'm calling regarding a desktop computer. For the past 6 months, maybe a little longer, it would intermittently just restart on its own. I might be working on it, or I might not come back, and the screen looks different because it had restarted. It did this probably about a week ago, and I wasn't able to wait for it to restart, so I got frustrated. I pressed the power button just to shut it down. Several hours later, when I went back to turn the computer on, nothing came up on the screen. I can hear the fan running. The hard drive light will come on, but then it stops, and it doesn't flicker like it would normally do when it's starting up. And there's just nothing on the keyboard. Light doesn't light up. I have a lit keyboard. That doesn't light up. But I can hear it running. Again, I can hear the fan, but nothing is coming up on the screen.
Now, do you see sort of like the hard drive lights flashing on the front like it's starting to boot, but you just don't see anything?
No, when you first turn it on, the light comes on for just a very brief time, but it never flickers after that.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to talk through this backwards, and none of this is going to apply directly to you. It's just for the sake of everyone else out that's listening. So, okay. So the first thing is that when a machine reboots itself, okay, one of two things are happening. Number one, there is an exception error where something happened in the coding or the software or the drivers or the applications that caused a problem that's so deep that the computer said, hey, this is going to be injurious to the rest of my code. I'm just going to power cycle it to do the safe thing. Call them blue screens of death, call them fatal exception errors, whatever it is. They will register something going on in the log file. So if you're doing blue screens and you're watching the power cut, you can always go through the event viewer and see what was going on at the time, and you can sort of backwards figure out, what files were in use, what applications were in use, and so on and so forth. The second part, that's the software end that could be causing a restart. The second end would be something hardware related. And it could be something from a power supply that's reaching the end of its life and it just doesn't supply enough power for the computer, so the computer ends up cutting out. Could be something starting to overheat. They have sensors on the boards that when something reaches a certain temperature, it thinks it gets dangerous, so it cuts power, and then you get a reboot. And then it could be everything else that's connected to it, memory, CPU, and so on and so forth. So when you get to the hardware, it's all on the table until you start removing things. Now, in your case, since now you're having a display problem, I think it's sort of revealing what was causing that reboot, where your display adapter might be involved in the problem. So let's just say your display adapter, and in your case, you probably have a video card that's integrated on the main board, okay? So what I would first do is I'd take a spare monitor and plug it into your video card just to take the spare monitor or the monitor out of the equation. I don't think that the machine's booting at all, so that's just a formality kind of a thing. Second thing I would do is I would open the case up and I would remove all non-essential components. So if there's a sound card that I don't need, I'm pulling it out of there. If there's a CD-ROM drive and I don't need, I'm pulling it out of there. I'm taking anything that could be causing the motherboard to get upset and I'm removing it, because I'm only going to be left with 4 components if I remove everything that's non-essential. And that's going to be the memory, the CPU, the motherboard, and the power supply. Okay, I'm not worried about anything else at this point. So if I can't get it to reboot, if I cannot get it to boot, the next thing I'm going to do is pull one of the essential components out, like a memory stick, and hit the power button. Now, if it does nothing except for look like it powers up, the board is dead, because what it should do is you should get a beep code that comes out of it and tells you there's missing memory. So if you remove memory and you don't get that beep code, probably the motherboard just took a dive on you, and that's, a game changer as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. And then if it was that, then it would just be you'd have to buy a new computer.
Yeah, if it gets to be motherboard, usually you can't do it cost effective. You're $400 deep into a computer, and by that time it's time to just replace. Now, if it does give you a beep code, now you've established that at least the motherboard's talking and it's just going through the process. Replace some sticks of RAM, see if it comes alive. Make sure that the cooling fan on the CPU is nice and tight, and just keep eliminating things until you can get it to boot up. But you might find that it's a bad memory stick and you pull them out, pull one of them out or something like that, and it boots right up. So just that, hardware is kind of tricky that way. That you really could be any one of those components that are involved.
And a memory stick is internal to the computer?
It is, yep.
Okay. The second part of the question is, so I have an external disk drive backup that was attached to it. Can I get programs off of that, like things such as TurboTax I had installed on there? Does that save on an external disk drive?
Well, your main hard drive is probably okay. If it's the motherboard that goes out, you can take that old drive and just put it in the new computer when you get it, and then all your data's there. Now, programs in a 32-bit and a 64-bit environment, you can't just pull over. You can pull the data from it. So if you had TurboTax and then you had all your tax preparation files on there, then you can go grab those files when you install the program. But when you set up a new machine, you take a list of, okay, well, I had Office. Well, all my Office documents are going to be there, but I got to reinstall the original version of Office and TurboTax and, all of the other programs that you use day to day.
Okay, those things aren't saved to an external drive.
Not the programs, no.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks, Bill. Appreciate you being out there. Appreciate you calling. And that process, I mean, when we say that, what you need to do is at least make sure you have some sort of backup, whether it be a system image backup or you have an external drive backup. We're assuming that at some point that computer that you're working on is something's going to fail in it. And you got to expect the worst, which is the whole motherboard's dead or the hard drive is dead. And we've got to be able to have at least some pathway to be able to recover stuff, to bring some stuff that's irreplaceable, pictures and, tax information and stuff like that. Whereas it's not you hit a button and if you make a mistake, you're gone back. That's not what we're planning for, because that, those image restore backups, they're cumbersome and they can be expensive. And so, you describe to us in a worst case scenario, you come home from work and your computer's down, what do you want the process to be? Do you want it to be where you just, your stuff's in the cloud and you hook up to a new dumb terminal and you have all your stuff? Do you want your machine to be loaded back down with your programs and so on and so forth? I mean, there's some companies that they have these big manufacturing machines, CNC machines and laser cutters and stuff like that. And they have a machine that's all loaded up with their licensed software. And it took weeks to be able to configure and calibrate and have all their data in there, right? So they're not super interested if that machine were to die to go reload it on another machine. So what we'll do is we'll buy an exact duplicate of the machine. Every piece of component is the same on the one that's on the left and the one that's on the right. And we will ghost the hard drive from one computer to the other computer so that if the one dies, they have one sitting right next to it. So we move the one that died out of there, we put that one in there, and then we try to repair the one that died, and then if we repair it, it serves as the backup. So that's like a scenario where you've got extra resources and you want to make sure that you're down for, 10 minutes, not a day. And then the other side of the spectrum is you don't do a whole lot on the machine. You get to the internet, so you want to make sure that you can get to your bookmarks. So we'll publish them out to the cloud somehow, and then if you have to go get a new computer, I log you back into the cloud and there's all your stuff. So one, you're putting extra resources into making sure that you're up and running in a suitable amount of time, and the other one, not so important. So, all right, 330-729-9977 is the phone number. All program long, too. If you do need to get in touch with Youngstown Computer, feel free to call our office and leave a message over there and get some service set up for the coming week. The office number, 330-259-7278. And I will repeat the number throughout the program, so no worries if you missed it there. 330-259-7278. All right, we're going to take a break. Come back, take some more of your phone calls. The number, 330-729-9977. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be right back.
It's a Golf Headquarters spring sale like no other, with savings throughout the store all month long and our month-long trade-in event. The entire month of April, get a 50% bonus on all club trade-ins. Trade in, save big, and get a 50% bonus. Plus, get Adidas Solid Polos 3 for $60. Callaway Balboa Vent Golf Shoes for $49.99. And select gloves 3 for $20. Out with the old and in with the new throughout the entire month of April. The Golf Headquarters Spring Sale. A great game begins at Golf Headquarters.
Join Cavelli Enterprises and Panera Bread in supporting the Rich Center for Autism at YSU and Potential Development Monday, April 9th through Sunday, April 15th with their Pieces of Hope campaign. Visit your local Panera Bread and purchase a puzzle piece shortbread cookie, and 100% of the proceeds from each cookie sold will be donated to the Rich Center and Potential Development. Purchase your Pieces of Hope cookie April 3rd through the 9th at any Panera Bread location in Mahoning Valley and Hermitage, PA. Every cookie counts.
From America's best-selling automobile to the world's toughest trucks, there's a reason why customers are driving from Youngstown, Boardman, Austintown, Hermitage, even Cleveland and Pittsburgh. So come and find out for yourself at our all-new state-of-the-art facility on Route 46. See you at Toyota of Warren.
Now, Toby Keith should have been a Cowboy Tour 25.
Should have been a cowboy.
Presented by Ford F-Series.
Learn to roll around. Solo cup.
September 3rd at the Canfield Fair.
How do you like me now?
Toby Keith.
Let's get for my man.
Should have been a Cowboy Tour 25.
Brought to you courtesy of the Red Wild.
On sale now. Buy tickets at Ticketmaster.com.
Now at Menards, save big money on your next project with 11% off everything. Stop mold dead in its tracks with Concrobium. It contains no harmful chemicals but eliminates and prevents mold in basements, laundry rooms, and more. Choose from a 32-ounce bottle or 14-ounce aerosol spray. $5.33 after 11% off. Get 11% off everything now at Menards. Good through April 14th. Savings are a mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
DMXI, the name the Valley has grown to trust with medical imaging, has now expanded their services to include personal injury cases. If you're involved with a personal injury case and would like to save money on your medical imaging, just remember DMXI. Remember, it's your choice where to have your imaging done, and Dr. Adam Crouch and his team will be there to help you receive the best imaging services possible. See all of their services at DMXI.com or just stop in. DMXI, just off Todd Avenue in Boardman.
Quiet, comfort, and affordability. The most important things when choosing a place to live. Westchester Square Apartments offers something to fit every need and budget. 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom, and studio apartments. They rent apartments, but they sell convenience. You can find luxury living at Westchester Executive Apartments, 1,200 square feet of upscale living with carports, or independent senior living at Westchester Commons, strategically located in the center of Austintown right next to Route 11. For the perfect apartment, call 330-799-5758. Come and be a good neighbor in a community of good neighbors. Westchester Square Apartments, Austintown. For more information, go to waldenmanagement.com.
Four Seasons Flea Market at 3000 McCartney Road, open every Wednesday and Sunday from 8 till 4 with close to 1,000 small businesses under one roof, all offering something different like fresh produce, baked goods, fresh flowers, sports memorabilia, masseuse and palm reader, or how about knives and more for the outdoorsman. Four Seasons Flea Market offers homemade oils and scents plus T-shirts and pet items for Christmas. There's so much to see, you just have to stop by. Four Seasons Flea Market, McCartney Road in Camel.
SUVs are on sale at Fairway Ford in Canfield. 2018 Ford Escapes are $19,900 and 2018 Ford Explorers are $29,900. See us at fairwayfordohio.com or 330-533-FORD. Fairway, that's the way we do business.
It's 78 degrees.
Hi, this is Mo Ray. Check me out Sunday mornings at 10, right here on News Radio 570 WKBN.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. Love that song by Rage Against the Machine. We used to be able to play that up until I think it's like the 49-second mark, and then it gets to be a little bit too much to play in a household with a youngster. So, but I love the I've probably listened to that song in the intro a million times, but not past a minute. All right, let's take some phone calls, 330-729-9977. Let's go to Nate. Nate, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
Hey, how you doing? Appreciate the show. I got a couple of quick questions, and I know you're headed into break.
Sure.
One is about a printer. I've got an HP printer, and it's I've got a computer that are Windows 10. I downloaded the drivers, and the printer works. The scanner doesn't. I got the scanner to finally work after clearing everything out and reloading it. And next thing I go to use the scanner again, and it's like showing like 8 different window choices, printer choices, all the same. And now, of course, the scanner doesn't work again. That's one question. The other question is the antivirus software that comes pre-installed with Windows 10. Is that okay to use, or everybody's offering now like free antivirus software or some other versions? Just a question because they're saying now with it pre-installed, you really don't need to worry about antivirus software.
Okay, so I will answer your second question first because that's an easier one to answer. With Windows 10, Windows Defender is actually really good as far as fighting against viruses. Now, granted, we don't see many traditional viruses as we used to. So on all of my machines, I will run the one that installed with Windows, but I will also run Malwarebytes because I'm more concerned about malware, stuff that doesn't necessarily meet the criteria to be a virus. That's the stuff that's really causing a big problem. So Malwarebytes, even if it's just the free one, and if you do a manual scan every once in a while, that's better than having nothing at all. If you can do the paid one, I think it's like $40 a year, something like that. Well worth it because it's, it does pick up some of the traditional viruses as well. So in the Windows 10 world, I want the one that ships with it and then Malwarebytes on top of it. And for everyone else, Windows 7, you need to have something, Windows 7 version of that. Windows 7 isn't as tight as Windows 10 is, so you want to have a traditional antivirus like, ESET Nod 32 or a flavor of Avast or something like that, something that's going to keep you protected. The only one I avoid is McAfee for as many years as we've been doing this. It's just not a real great product. Okay, so your original question. Now, this printer, is it connected to the computer with USB or is it a network printer?
Ethernet, yes.
Oh, it's Ethernet. Okay, that's actually really good because the USB, where we use it every once in a while, it's easier to configure and it's a little bit more stable as an Ethernet printer. So what you want to do? Are you used to implement or initiating the scan from the scanner side or from the computer side?
Computer side. I use Windows Fax Scan.
Okay. Most of the time from the computer scan, you just want to make sure that the firewall isn't messing with the transaction. Okay, so turning the firewall off, watching it work, and then you have to add some exceptions in the firewall rules so that it can pass those faxes back and forth. And since you're using something that's built in Windows, that's pretty much 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a firewall problem or something in your antivirus that's also watching traffic.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense. I just didn't understand why it ended up loading up like all the choices. You used to have like 1 or 2 choices for your printer, and now it's got like printer number 1 through 9.
Yeah, that's Windows trying to be helpful. Do you have any more questions? I can hold you over to the break. Was that it?
Okay, just one more question, but go ahead. It was just a real quick thumb drive question. So
all right, let me put you back on hold, and we'll catch you up after this. If you guys want to get on line, 330-729-9977. We're going to take this break. We're going to come back, take some more of your phone calls. This is the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be right back.
Here's what's happening in the Valley. The General Motors plant in Lordstown is set to go down to a single shift. That announcement coming yesterday after a plant-wide employee meeting. 27 First News reports June 15th is the last day for the 2 shifts, while the 1-shift schedule will take effect on June 18th. Charges have been reduced in a case of a Youngstown officer's OVI case. Patrolman Daryl Herdman was stopped St. Patrick's Day weekend by a state trooper on the city's west side. At the time, he was charged with both OVI and having a gun with him in the car. Lawyers told the judge it would be difficult to prove Herdman was actually drunk at the time. Both the OVI and weapons charges were dismissed. Herdman pleaded guilty to reckless operation of a motor vehicle. State Attorney Dave Yost officially announced Brookfield schools are now out of fiscal emergency. The school had been in fiscal trouble since 2005 when it first entered fiscal caution. In 2006, that advanced to fiscal watch, then full emergency in 2013. Lieutenant Governor Mary Taylor was in town yesterday. She met with people at the Blue Wolf Tavern in Boardman. She's one of the 2 Republican candidates running for Ohio governor. From the all-new and 2018 Power Chevrolet Buick GMC of Calcutta, Ohio newsroom, I'm Dave Price.
Our next update at 2.
Oh, another Market Street pothole. That sounded expensive.
Better get to Boardman Nissan between now and the end of April for their tire special. Buy 3, get 1 for $1, and they'll throw in free lifetime tire rotation and free 2-year road hazard coverage on all 4 tires. Lots of brands of tires available. And don't forget, Boardman Nissan services virtually all makes and models.
Well, that sounds like a one-of-a-kind deal. When can I schedule an appointment?
Actually, you don't have to. Just stop in and speak with one of their reps today. And judging by that sound, you don't have much time.
I better get to Boardman Nissan.
You can't miss the potholes, so you definitely don't want to miss this deal. Head down to Boardman Nissan today and enjoy a top-notch dealership experience. Buy 3, get 1 for $1, and they'll throw in free lifetime tire rotation and free 2-year road hazard coverage on all 4 tires. Boardman Nissan, 7809 Market Street in Boardman.
You're driving down the road and you hit a pothole, then another pothole. Then you hit a big pothole. It's time to call Flynn's Tire and Auto Service and schedule an appointment for a free wheel alignment check. And if you do need alignment, go to Flynn'sTire.com for a $10 off coupon. While you're at Flynn's, get a free 15-point visual maintenance check for any other potential problems. You can get your car repaired anywhere, but doesn't it make sense to go to Flynn's, named top shop in all of North America? The next time you need car care, go to Flynn's Tire and Auto Service.
And tell them Vinny sent you.
You don't remember days, you remember moments. But when the old tapes and photos that hold your cherished memories degrade, or worse, you lose them, they're gone forever. Hi, I'm Nick Mako.
And I'm Adam Baselogger. We started Legacy Box to help you preserve those irreplaceable moments.
Load your Legacy Box with your old tapes, film, pictures, and audio, and send them in. You'll get them back on DVD or a convenient thumb drive.
Visit legacybox.com/USA. And for a limited time, you'll get 40% off your order. legacybox.com/USA.
So like many of you, I have trouble sleeping. I have insomnia. No matter what I tried, it wouldn't work until I met Mike Lindell, and I got my very own MyPillow. It has changed my life. What makes MyPillow so different is MyPillow's patented adjustable fill. In other words, you can adjust the patented fill to your exact individual needs so you get the support you need and want to help you get to sleep faster and stay asleep longer. Just go to MyPillow.com or call 1-800-919-6090. Remember, use the promo code Hannity. When you do, Mike Lindell will give you his best offer ever. Buy one pillow and get another one absolutely free. MyPillow, made in the USA, 10-year unconditional warranty, and it has a 60-day, no-questions-asked money-back guarantee. You have nothing to lose. So it's time for you to start getting the quality of sleep that you've been wanting and we need. Just go to MyPillow.com or call 800-919-6090, promo code Hannity. Take advantage of Mike's special 2-for-1 offer. MyPillow.com, promo code Hannity.
It's Ron Verb. It's back. The Boardman Subaru home run payoff inning. We'll pick the caller, and if a tri-player hits a home run in the inning you played, then you'll win a pair of tickets to a selected Indians game. It's all brought to you by the good folks at Boardman Subaru.
Arthritis, back pain, knee pain, bursitis, fibromyalgia. Learn how you can solve these problems. Sunday morning, 7 a.m. News Radio 570 WKBN.
Hi, Tom Bodette with a word on fusion cuisine, where you mix one country's food with another one. I always call that stew, but whatever gets you to dessert. But whether you like a French vichyssoise with Thai chili oil, or you're more into the fusion of American burger and French fry, you'll save more for that meal at Motel 6. It's an intriguing mix of clean, comfortable, and low prices, or as we fusionistas call it, clicolo. I'm Tom Bodette from Motel 6, and we'll leave the light on for you.
When the need for senior care arises, there's no place like home. Your loved ones should never have to give up living at home. Visiting Angels will provide home care for your mom or dad at home up to 24 hours per day, including personal care, meals, and light housework. You'll select your professional caregiver with Visiting Angels. Look up visitingangels.com or call 877-374-LIVE. That's 877-374-LIVE. Franchises are available. Visiting Angels, America's choice in senior home care.
Just ahead, more stimulating talk from the O'Charley's Digital Studios. $9.99 menu, 9 great meals, 1 great price. O'Charley's. Cool your home this summer. Call Mazza Heating and Cooling in Girard, your factory authorized Bryant dealer. Now, the Storm Team 27 forecast.
Rain showers will develop into the early afternoon with temperatures climbing into the mid-70s. Scattered rain showers will be around this evening and overnight with temperatures sliding back into the lower 40s. In the Storm Team 27 Weather Center, I'm Alex George.
It's 78 degrees.
570WKBN.com, powered by Donnell Ford and DonnellFord.com, where price sells cars and great service keeps customers.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. We get to do this on Saturdays where we talk about things that are happening in the tech world, and me being addicted to the tech industry, I love talking about this stuff, and I like kind of taking you guys along with me for the ride. We talk about things, experiences, and new stuff all alike, and hopefully what we talk about you sort of absorb almost like through osmosis, where you pick up the terminology, you get familiar with the context of using the words, and I really don't use a whole lot of acronyms. I mean, I could probably do the whole show in nothing but end-to-end acronyms the whole show, but I just don't do it because, I mean, what would you get out of that? And so I do get annoyed with other industries who do throw down, especially in the financial world, they throw down acronyms like it's crazy, and I don't know what they mean. If you just tell me the 3 words, I'll get it. Come on. Anyway, 330-729-9977. If you want to call, get on the program, share some of your experiences, and we can use your experiences to talk about a whole topic and explain it as best we can. For the break, we were talking to Nate, so let's resume that phone call. Nate, you still with me?
I'm still here, and I really appreciate that advice about the malware bites. I used to use it, but that is really good information.
Awesome.
So. But the question I had was, I use a thumb drive typically for backing up things. I know everybody uses external hard drives. I don't really have a whole lot of stuff. But they were saying you should probably encrypt it. Now, is there such a thing as an encrypted thumb drive that you buy, or is it something you encrypt yourself should the need arise for, somebody finds a hard drive or the thumb drive?
Yeah, they probably sell them, but it's easy enough to do it yourself. In the Windows operating system, they included a program called BitLocker. And pretty much think of it this way. When you search for BitLocker on your Windows machine, you can create a folder that is as password protected is pretty much what it is. So that when you try to access things in it, it prompts you and you have to provide a passcode in order to get in there. So if a guy like me, you brought me a flash drive and said, hey, I can't get into my BitLocker, without that passcode, you can't decrypt it. That's sort of the purpose. So if you keep that flash drive in your pocket and you go to someone's house, plug it in and you need your stuff, as long as you supply that password, you're good to go. Windows will access it just like any other flash drive.
That's perfect. And is that something that can be automatically used as a backup? Like, can it back up to a thumb drive, every 3 days, 1 day, whatever?
Well, usually your backup component or your backup tool will create an output file that is encrypted. So you want to depend on, we use a program called Cobian. And it's a free public domain type of program. And in one of the options, you can do encryption on it, supply a password, and then every backup file has its own encryption with the password that you provided at backup. And that way, if you take an external drive off-site, to another place, it's unusable unless you provide the same password that the backup program put on it.
Cobian, C-O-B-I-A-N?
That's correct. Cobian Backup, C-O-B-I-A-N.
I'm sorry.
C-O-B-I-A-N.
Got it. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks, Nate. Appreciate you being out there. And I will tell all of you who do ferry around these flash drives and external drives, have the consideration that if you were to lose it, and that's what happens. People aren't going around stealing hard drives usually, but if you were to lose it, think about what somebody would then have access to on your flash drive. Same thing with cell phones, same thing with anything you take out in public. You have to kind of look at it through those eyes every once in a while and see what you could potentially be sharing with the rest of the world. And in that case, it doesn't create that much more effort. It's literally you set a folder, a segment of your flash drive. And the setup takes a little while to encrypt the whole thing, but once it's there, it's pretty easy to get in and out of the drive. So I would consider it. I mean, if you don't have anything important on there and you don't care it falling in anybody's hands, the biggest part about what people could find is that let's just say you had pictures on there from your camera. Well, there's some geotagging probably on there, and somebody grabs your pictures. They might not necessarily be interested in the pictures, but what about the data that's connected with those pictures, where it was taken? So if you frequent a park, then, a stranger, you got to assume that the worst person on the planet is going to find your stuff, right? And so that's the guy you're planning for. The guy that's going to try to find the owner is a different scenario altogether. I plan for the guy that's going to go through there and try to find some addresses and where I took pictures and just data on me, and assume that I've got to prevent something like that from happening. So 330-729-9977. Let's go to Steve next. Steve, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
Hi, Joe. I just wanted to have a big shout out to David at your place. I was in this week. My old computer crashed and burned. I went out and bought a new one, and that old one was XP. So unfortunately, some of the programs I had on there will not run on Windows 10. One of them was my ham radio logging program, which isn't very important, but it's important to me. So what he came up with was putting something called virtual machine on it. So I actually have XP running inside of my Windows 10 machine, and it works great. So I just wanted to say thank you to him and to you and your crew there.
Oh, well, thank you for calling and sharing that with us. Now, were you familiar with virtual machines before this, or is this a whole new world?
No, it's a whole new world. I didn't know that was possible.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Steve. I appreciate it. I'm really glad that my guys were able to take care of you.
right, thanks.
All right, thanks, Steve. All right, and what he's talking about, virtual machines are basically emulation. So let's just say John has a program that he had developed way back in 2000, and it was on XP, and the developer's not even alive anymore, and it has all of his investments and all the that stuff on it. Well, it's working just fine right now, but John starts thinking, well, what about when I get the new computer? I don't have the software to install it. I'm not going to be able to call the developer. I'm either going to have it, bail on it and start working away from it, or I got to figure out a way to keep this thing alive. So what we can do is we can snapshot a computer when it's in a working form, good hard drive, good applications and stuff like that. We could snapshot it and move it into an emulated environment where you can operate the computer in a virtual machine. So this inception idea where it's a computer within a computer. Okay, when you virtualize it, you don't affect the outside computer. So the outside computer has Windows 10 on it, but then there's a little computer that you can start and stop inside that, and it opens up in a little bit smaller of a window, and it's XP. So that's why I say that it's a computer within the same computer, because the programs don't know that they're running on a virtualized machine. The emulation software makes sure that if they needed an address or some memory or a storage space, it thinks it's addressing that stuff natively. Okay, and so you can do this pretty much with any operating system. We do it a lot with server environments where we can just move server instances around to different pieces of hardware without having to reload certain machines. So in his case, that was the perfect scenario where virtualization really is beneficial. Keeping older stuff alive outside of licensing or outside of support from the vendor, or if the developer's not available anymore, that's a good use of it. And so a couple of if you wanted to try this out, VirtualBox is made by, I believe that's Oracle's product. And you can download a trial of it, and if you wanted to play around with it, so basically you do VirtualBox, you download it, you install it, now you have VirtualBox on your machine. You can then, if you have a disk for an operating system, whether it's Linux or whether it's Windows 7 or Windows 10, you can then take your installation file, go into VirtualBox, and say, load this executable or this ISO into the virtual machine. And then, as expected, when you load the ISO in there, the machine thinks it just got a CD-ROM loaded in there. So when you fire it up, you can boot to the CD-ROM, and you see the same thing that you would see when you put it as CD-ROM in the outside box is what was happening in the inside box. So you can install programs, you can set disk space, you can allocate some of your local RAM and put it into the virtual machine, and there you have a completely separate environment. Now, what we do on our end, we mess with some dangerous stuff sometimes, some machines that have viruses and whatnot. So when I create a virtual machine, I can play with it in this sandbox mode where it's not going to affect my main production computer. I can make the virus affect just what's in the virtual machine side. And that way, if it destroys the operating system and tries to spread around, it's only virtually doing that, and I can see what happens. So I can play around with viruses and see really what they do. We do a lot of our antivirus testing on the same deal, where we took some encryption viruses and we emailed them to the virtual machine, and then we launched them and loaded an antivirus and launched them a couple times and see what the ratio of being able to catch the virus or not. Early on in encryption, that was a big deal, and since it was so new, we didn't know which antiviruses were going to do a good job. So we had to do it ourselves and find out which one had a better than 50% or better than 75%, catch rate, and we had to do that all internally. Virtual machines are another great implementation to do that kind of, tech testing without putting real machines and real data at risk. Again, a good test environment. All right, so 330-729-9977. You can also text me at 333-1570, and I will do my best to answer those texts as the show goes along today. I did mention that I would give you the phone number for Youngstown Computer, and I'm telling you, the guys down at the office had an amazing week this week, and as you heard from our last caller there, that David and Anthony, the crew down there, they are so service-oriented. They take care of people. That is like their number one objective. They just happen to be really good at technology. But when you couple people who really know how to serve the community and customers and each other well, I always get this really proud feeling, not necessarily because it's my guys, but because that happens in the marketplace. And I feel like if we can affect all marketplaces with people who are super interested in serving others, then think about going shopping. You're not getting in arguments and feeling taken advantage of. I can have people call me, ask me a question, and they don't have to fear that I'm going to give them a prepackaged answer that ultimately just benefits me. I tell people all the time, if should they buy a computer from you, Joe? I put myself in your shoes and I tell you what the real answer is, not one that benefits me. I mean, I'll tell you right away if I'd really like to do the project, but you're going to know that there's a better alternative. I had a guy call me the other day and he said, I'm looking to get a computer. It's just getting on the internet. Should I buy it from you? And I said, well, you buy it from me and you're going to give up two things. Number one, retail is going to, you got about a 5% markup on retail. Okay, 5%, you're going to give that up when you buy from me because my markup is 15%. Okay, so you're going to pay 10 extra percent when you buy from me because I'm different than retail. And so number one, so if you're price conscious and you're only buying on price, then you're going to want to go retail and take advantage of that. Now, I don't have a problem with you bringing it to me after that and let me clean it up for you. But the reason that they don't have the markup that I do is because they're subsidized with software, right? They're given money from people who sell products, right, to install their antiviruses and their little pre-installed stuff. So you might be getting $100 in subsidies, and that lowers the price of what you purchase, and they're making them way cheaper than buying it from a place like me. So then you bring it to me, then I've got to clean up all that software and make it run halfway decent. So it ends up being about the same. So hardware, spec for spec, I mean, I like being able to go to retail and playing with the machine before I buy it, right? That's a good benefit to being able to shop on the retail side, is you don't have to just blindly order what Joe would normally order and just hope when it shows up that it's what you'd like. People have been buying me for 20 years. They don't have any fears. They've used the computers we put out there. They know what to expect. Whereas a new customer, it's just a different experience. I'm used to going to the store, grabbing it, putting it in the car, and going home with it, not necessarily saying, hey, we got you. We'll take care of you from start to finish. We'll set it up for you. We'll get your printers installed and so on and so forth. But that's how we made our business, is that we are, it's just not a transaction where you're buying a piece of equipment. You're coming to Youngstown Computer and allowing us to do our thing, which is taking care of you. You're going to get honest advice, and that is the trade-off here. You're coming to us, and that you're putting a vulnerable transaction, and we're going to take care of you by being overly honest. And I have to say it that way because, we tell you things that necessarily don't benefit. So that's overly. We tell you things that if we were in the same spot, how we'd want to be talked to and told. And all of us out there, to make financial decisions, all we need is information. Good, solid, honest information. And that's what we try to provide, so that if you choose not to go with us because of the information, we're okay with that. If you think that you can get a better a bargain by going on the retail side, that is a good thing. It's not going to hurt our feelings to know that you wanted to chase a $20 or $50 bigger discount. I'm totally cool with that. We only provided retail from day one, or we only provided hardware from day one as a convenience. We're a service company. You know why we were selling computers? Because the requests started coming in that I'm so sick of buying on retail where I feel like I buy it, but then it's all on me. I want to buy from you. At least we know that we're taken care of. So 330-259-7278 is the phone number. Make sure you schedule all your service with the guys at the office. They will definitely take care of you. David will be the guy that you talk to. He's the front man at the desk. Anthony's also down there doing the back-end tech work. Again, always ready to take care of anybody who calls. 330-259-7278. All right, we're going to take a break. Come back, take some of your calls. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Eric Clark at Fairway Ford in Canfield, and it's SUV season with over 150 Ford Escapes and Explorers available. We have a great selection of all of them, including four-wheel drives and front-wheel drives, all at huge savings. New 18 Ford Escape SUVs for only $19,900, and the new 2018 Ford Explorer XLT SUV for only $29,900. See us at fairwayfordohio.com or 330-533-FORD. Fairway, that's the way we do business.
Hey, Omni Carpet. How can such a little store offer such big savings on carpet and flooring? Those big box guys don't have half the selection, and Omni Carpet beats them every time on price. Plus, your carpet will be installed professionally with the right pad. That's how Rocky Folletti and Omni Carpet can offer such big savings on carpet and flooring and beat the big guys every time. How can such a little store offer such big savings? Find out when you visit Omni Carpet today, corner of South Avenue and Matthews Road in Boardman.
Flying out of the Pittsburgh Airport, visit Air Marino Airport Parking for valet airport parking and free shuttle transportation. Every day, all for just $6.50 a day, $44.95 first week. I-376 to exit 50 to Floggerty Road. For more information, visit airmarino.com.
It's a golf headquarters spring sale like no other, with savings throughout the store all month long and our month-long trade-in event. The entire month of April, get a 50% bonus on all club trade-ins. Trade in, save big, and get a 50% bonus. Plus, get Adidas Solid Polos 3 for $60. Callaway Balboa Event Golf Shoes for $49.99. And select gloves 3 for $20. Out with the old and in with the new throughout the entire month of April. The Golf Headquarters Spring Sale. A great game begins at Golf Headquarters.
When you see 570 WKBN broadcasting live around the valley, stop by and spin the Pizza Hut prize wheel for a chance to win prizes. All day, every day, 2 pizzas, $5.99 each with 2 toppings each. No one out delivers the hut. No one out pizzas the hut.
You don't remember days, you remember moments. But when the old tapes and photos that hold your cherished memories degrade, or worse, you lose them, they're gone forever. Hi, I'm Nick Mako.
And I'm Adam Baselogger. We started Legacy Box to help you preserve those irreplaceable moments.
Load your Legacy Box with your old tapes, film, pictures, and audio, and send them in. You'll get them back on DVD or a convenient thumb drive.
Visit legacybox.com/USA. And for a limited time, you'll get 40% off your order. legacybox.com/USA.
Hi, Tom Bodette with a word on fusion cuisine, where you mix one country's food with another one. I always call that stew, but whatever gets you to dessert. But whether you like a French vichyssoise with Thai chili oil, or you're more into the fusion of American burger and French fry, you'll save more for that meal at Motel 6. It's an intriguing mix of clean, comfortable, and low prices, or as we fusionistas call it, clic-colo. I'm Tom Bodette from Motel 6, and we'll leave the light on for you.
Hey friends, as a marketer, you want to reach everyone, right? Adults, teens, millennials? But it's not like all these groups hang out in the same place. Actually wrong. They're all right here listening to radio commercials just like this one. Radio ads connect with 93% of Americans every week. Now that's more than Google, more than Facebook, more than TV. In fact, we reach 20% more millennials than TV. Want more of the people you want to talk to? Hey, they're all in one place. Right here. Get AM/FM working for you. Go to iHeartMedia.com.
This is Smart Hacks for your smart speakers. I'm Stacey Walter. Did you know that Alexa will read bedtime stories to your child? Yeah, just say, Alexa, tell bedtime story to Billy, and you can both sit back until one of you falls asleep. Once upon a time. Alexa also connects you to your favorite live radio stations with iHeartRadio. Tell Alexa to play your favorite iHeartRadio station like this. Alexa, play iHeart 80s. Playing iHeart 80s on iHeartRadio. iHeartRadio has all your favorite music and radio on your smart speaker. This has been Smart Hacks for your smart speakers.
Now 79.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. We get to do this on Saturdays. Talk about tech. I'm Joe Danier, and I'll be hosting you here for the next hour and some minutes, too. I'm going to just do calls because they've been great, and I'll just get this one before the break. Only have a couple minutes before then, but let's get started with Steve. Steve, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
Yes, I get Windows. By the way, you guys do a hell of a job.
Oh, thank you.
I've referred a lot of people to you.
Appreciate
But
that.
I continually get Windows Microsoft updates that fail to install. And I've followed what they've said to do, and it seems like I'm going around in a circle. How do you get these things to install properly? Because I feel exposed.
Okay, so first thing I do is I'm going to turn off the Windows Update service. Just totally stop it in the Services Manager. After the Windows Update Services Manager or services is stopped, you're going to go into the Windows directory and you're going to look for a folder called Software Distribution. And I usually just will name it Software Distribution Old so that will kind of take that out of the equation. And then you can go back to the Services Manager and you can start that service again. Now, immediately when you start that Windows Update service, it's going to create a new software distribution folder. It's going to go out to the internet, and it's going to download a whole new copy of all of the downloadable Windows updates. So it's going to take some time while it reindexes the stuff that you need to be able to do the installation. Then at that point, I would try to let it install just naturally. Most of the time, that's going to take care of it. If that doesn't take care of it, then you're going to have to selectively remove some of the ones that it's struggling with and apply the ones that it's not until you're left with one or two. Sometimes you'll be able to say, okay, well, there's a .NET Framework one that keeps failing. I'm just going to go out and download the standalone version of .NET Framework, install it that way, so eventually it could just skip that update and move on.
Joe, I appreciate this, but I cannot. I've got an affliction and I can't write. How can I? Can somebody email me these instructions, or so I can execute them?
When I get back, I will. I'll do this kind of a little bit slower, and then I'll publish it to the web and make sure that you can watch it over and over again until you got it. You can go step by step. You can get it on YouTube. So I'll make sure that I write down the time and date, and I'll segment that out for you.
Very good. Very good. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thanks, Steve.
I go to Youngstown Computer YouTube.
Yeah, you're going to go to Youngstown Computer Show on YouTube and all of our shows. You're going to go to today's dated show, listen to the top of the hour, and that should do it.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate it. And that goes for all of you. If anybody catches something, I talk too fast or whatever, you can always go over to YouTube, look for Youngstown Computer Show, watch all of our old episodes from, for years and years. All right, David, I see you're out there. We're going to take your call as soon as we get back. 330-729-9977 is the phone number. We'll be back. This is the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN.
Okay, from the start.
Acerola cherry.
Alfalfa leaf, aloe vera, apples, asparagus, banana.
Beets, bell pepper, broccoli.
Blueberries, blackberries, cranberry.
I make my Texas superfood from 55 raw, vine-ripened fruits and vegetables.
Mangosteen.
Pineapple, sweet potato.
Papaya, parsley, peach.
You can see all 55 on TexasSuperfood.com.
Raspberry, spinach, all of the nutrients that we need on a daily basis.
You know, it's been barely a week, and already my skin is better.
I lost 60 pounds. I mean, that's huge.
Since I've been on superfood, I haven't been sick.
I'm Dennis Black, here in Dallas, Texas. Wouldn't you rather be healthy, energetic, and fit?
It's borderline shocking how much energy I have.
Join us on TexasSuperfood.com.
TexasSuperfood.com.
Or call 877-55-TEXAS. That's 877-55-TEXAS. 877-55-TEXAS. Or
TexasSuperfood.com.
Time is 2 o'clock. Shop Baird Brothers, America's source for fine hardwoods. This is News Radio 570 WKBN, Youngstown, an iHeart radio station.
From ABC News, I'm Daria Albinger. A warning to Syria a day after the U.S.-led response to a suspected chemical attack on civilians by Bashar al-Assad's regime.
We are prepared to sustain this pressure if the Syrian regime is foolish enough to test our will.
U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations Nikki Haley at today's emergency session of the UN Security Council. Members rejecting a resolution by Russia to condemn the airstrikes that were carried out by the U.S., France, and the U.K. Vice President Pence repeating the messages he attends the Summit of the Americas in Lima, Peru.
President Trump made it clear that the United States will not tolerate the use of chemical weapons against men, women, and children.
The Pentagon says the strikes were precise, overwhelming, and effective.
105 total weapons were deployed against 3 targets in Syria, according to the Pentagon. Marine Lieutenant General McKenzie says the Syrian air defense system tried to shoot down the Allied munitions but failed.
We assessed that over 40 surface-to-air missiles were employed by the Syrian regime. Most of these launches occurred after the last impact of our strike was over.
The Pentagon is confident all U.S.-led coalition strike missiles reached targets and aircraft safely returned to bases. Stephanie Ramos, ABC News, the Pentagon.
The Pentagon also says that Moscow is conducting a disinformation campaign with a 2,000% increase in Russian trolls over the last 24 hours. Among the false statements, that 70 coalition missiles were shot down. More severe weather is in the forecast today for parts of the South after yesterday's severe storms rolling through the region, including several unconfirmed reports of tornadoes. To the north, Old Man Winter is still hanging in, a snowstorm canceling today's game in Detroit between the Tigers and the New York Yankees. You're listening to ABC News.
Here's what's happening in the Valley. The General Motors plant in Lordstown is set to go down to a single shift. That announcement coming yesterday after a plant-wide employee meeting. 27 First News reports June 15th is the last day for the 2 shifts, while the 1-shift schedule will take effect on June 18th. Charges have been reduced in a case of a Youngstown officer's OVI case. Patrolman Daryl Herdman was stopped St. Patrick's Day weekend by a state trooper on the city's west side. At the time, he was charged with both OVI and having a gun with him in the car. Lawyers told the judge it would be difficult to prove Herdman was actually drunk at the time. Both the OVI and weapons charges were dismissed. Herdman pleaded guilty to reckless operation of a motor vehicle. State Attorney Dave Yost officially announced Brookfield schools are now out of fiscal emergency. The school had been in fiscal trouble since 2005 when it first entered fiscal caution. In 2006, that advanced to fiscal watch, then full emergency in 2013. Lieutenant Governor Mary Taylor was in town yesterday. She met with people at the Blue Wolf Tavern in Boardman. She's one of the 2 Republican candidates running for Ohio governor. From the all-new and 2018 Power Chevrolet Buick GMC of Calcutta, Ohio newsroom, I'm Dave Price.
Our next update at 2:30. Just ahead, more stimulating talk from the O'Charley's Digital Studios. $9.99 menu, 9 great meals, 1 great price. O'Charley's.
Thinking about life insurance? What if you could make 1 free phone call and learn your best price from nearly a dozen highly rated, price-competitive companies? Well, that's exactly what happens when you call SelectQuote Life. For example, George is 40. He was getting sky-high quotes from other companies because he takes meds to control his blood pressure. But when I shopped around, I found him a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $25 a month. I'm SelectQuote agent Dan Savino. And believe me, if SelectQuote isn't shopping for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 800-713-5533. That's 800-713-5533. 800-713-5533. Or go to SelectQuote.com. Since 1985, we shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Or price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
In the 10 months since Northside Regional Medical Center became a Stewart Family Hospital, there have been significant changes and improvements, big and small.
We've hired 117 new employees.
We've added a new team of physicians to our all-private room ER.
And there's even more on the way. Every single advancement has been for one simple reason: putting you and your health at the center of everything we do. Northside Regional Medical Center, a Stewart Family Hospital.
Hi, this is Eric Clark at Fairway Ford in Canfield, and we've got an unbelievable truck inventory. I'm really excited. We've got 400 F-150s and Super Duties available. STXs, XLTs, Lariats, King Ranches, Platinums, and Limiteds. We're the #1 F-150 dealer in the region, including Ohio and Pennsylvania. Fairway is your Ford truck headquarters, and we'll pay top dollar for your trade-ins. See us at fairwayfordohio.com or 330-533-FORD. Fairway, that's the way we do business.
Call the comment line. Leave your comments for Rivers, Rush, Ron, and Sean. 729-0989. 729-0989.
Cool your home this summer. Call Mazza Heating and Cooling in Girard, your factory-authorized Bryant dealer. Now, the Storm Team 27 forecast.
Rain showers will develop into the early afternoon with temperatures climbing into the mid-70s. Scattered rain showers will be around this evening and overnight with temperatures sliding back into the lower 40s. In the Storm Team 27 Weather Center, I'm Alex George.
Now 79.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. I'm Joe Danier, owner of Youngstown Computer, and I know I have not talked about the Facebook stuff that happened this week, and I figure if we get a lull in calls, I'll talk about that. Nobody really wants to hear about Zuckerberg anyhow, do you? Well, maybe I'll get to it regardless. 330-729-9977 is the phone number. Going to go to David. David's been waiting a while. David, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
Okay, my name is David, and I'm one of Youngstown Computer's biggest fans. I had a laptop computer that I use in business, and it's going on 3.5 years.
Hold on 1 second. All right, go ahead. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Okay, so I decided to take you up on your offer, and I had David and Anthony build me what I would call a supercomputer.
Okay.
Digital disk drive and I'm operating now with two 27-inch monitors, and it has so enhanced my ability to attend to my business that I just can't believe it.
Two 27-inch monitors. That's amazing. That's a good workstation.
Yep, and I'll tell you what, when I left there, I promised Carla that I was going to bug you about some more classes, and I'll finish with that.
All right. Well, David, thank you so much for calling and telling your story. I really appreciate it.
Very good. Take care.
You too. All right, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. I always like hearing that because, like I said, our guys, they work so hard at the service. And I'll tell you, we have our Friday meetings we talk about things that happen well, things that happen that we want to improve. And we have the stack of the customer comments, and we read through those and thumb through how the experience from the customers ends. We read, what people were really happy about. And if there were any sadness, we want to make sure that we hear that stuff too. And I will tell you, over the years, the pile in the early on was 3 or 4 that we'd get to look at a week, and then it would be 10 and 12. And then these comments those comments are probably the one biggest indicator or one big help into knowing or pushing us into what we're going to do next. It gives us all the information we need to serve the Valley better, serve our customers better, and know what to provide. So in this case, Steve's workstation, that seems, and it's not traditional. You don't have a lot of people who need a couple monitors in front of them. But if productivity is your deal, you need something fast. You don't want to be working on the computer. You need ability. That's what we were able to provide for him. So he's that subset that he needs, if you were to put that together himself, think of all the time cost it would have been to come up with the computer that would provide that. So he just borrowed ours. We built him a machine that would do it, and now as happy as could be. So I hope there's a ton of you left out there that we could, make happy and want to be served in the way that we've become really good at serving. So, Steve, I really appreciate that phone call. And the second part of what your second part of your statement was the classes. And I will tell you, I love teaching. It's one of my things where I've loved it from the first day that I started doing the Youngstown Computer program and, started the business Youngstown Computer. Every Wednesday was my teaching day where I'd get done with the field services and I would rush down to the classroom, and I'd have 12 students that meet me there, and we would every week that we would make up a new class to teach the next week, and it was amazing for these students to follow through with every class and always be in attendance, and we kept it fresh, and it was always different. It was my kind of teaching because I hate module training. I hate you come to take a word class and I start you from, the neophyte and you barely learn anything in a 3-hour segment. I want my 3 hours to get 3 hours worth of knowledge out of it, where you get some light bulb moments and you really know. So I will make you this promise, Steve, that I have full intention of the new office downtown. A lot of you don't know that, but I'm actually opening an office in the Commerce Building downtown, and there is a room that we are going to be using for not only technology coaching and training, but we're also going to do business and entrepreneurship training as well. And so I'm going to, when all that gets started and the trainers and teachers start giving those classes, I'm going to get a little bit jealous that I'm not in there doing any instruction. I am certain that this is going to lead to at least a class a month, with my flavor of instruction. And those of you who can appreciate my method, it's not something that you have experienced in a class before, unless you've taken one of my classes, where, I will entertain any question that you hit me with. I started doing the radio not knowing what any of you would ask me, right? And we made a whole show out of just being able to truthful exchange of ideas, right? Same thing happens in the class, where if you hit me with anything during the class, we'll talk about it and you're going to learn something about it, because, I've touched enough of this stuff that I've got at least a little experience in about every department. So you really can't hit me with anything that I haven't seen or touched or have some exposure to. So I share that with you, and it makes my class. If your expectations is dry and regimented and one topic, then you're going to be disappointed. But if you like me bouncing all around, giving you all kinds of good nuggets and stuff, then my classes are for you, and I hope that you will, you'll take those. But I'll firmly publish those and. As we start to invent them. I'm just a busy guy right now getting this new office started, so it won't be in the really short term. But Steve, I really appreciate you not only sharing that story, but also prodding me to do what I, get back to one of my loves there and get back into some teaching. So I appreciate that. 330-729-9977. Okay, so a little bit about the Facebook stuff. All right, so all of this, the congressional hearings and whatnot, he went in and testified, and all of the senators and the congressmen got to ask him a ton of questions. And so basically, everybody's probably super happy with his responses. He didn't do a bad job for sure. But the problem is that, the revelations weren't as surprising, or they shouldn't have been as surprising as a lot of us made it out to be. So, so everybody knows that when you go on Facebook and you share data, you give them the right to use everything you say and everything that you post. It's theirs. They can do what they want with it, right? And so when we have this agreement that we trust Facebook, they're going to be good about who they give it to. They start selling it to some people because that's what pays the bills, keeps the light on. You're a user. You don't have to pay anything to be there. So advertising is how they make their money. And so they use your information to, special advertising companies that want to advertise to groups and special interest groups and age groups and demographics and so on and so forth. All of that stuff matters, and they can really give advertisers a premium with how they give you those specific laser-focused demographics. And so when you give up information, of course they're going to use it. Well, everybody got mad because Facebook shared information with a third-party developer, and the third-party developer then shared it with another person who didn't do things that the public would be happy with, right? So we hold Facebook responsible because we expect whoever we trust to have all their ducks in a row, to treat things on the up and up. And when that faith is, we double back on the faith thing, then we don't trust you anymore with our data, right? But we're already all in with the data that we are. And, it's a private entity. So really our only play is that we stop doing business with people who can't protect our data, don't go through the extra steps to protect our data. They went out, did something boneheaded. Now they apologized, but from our standpoint, hey, this isn't an apology where we get to say we forgive you and we hope we won't do it again. You betrayed trust, right? And so when you cheat on someone, you have to earn that trust back somehow, right? It's not just hey, I'm sorry, and oh, you know what? I know you won't ever do it again. We have a very short circle, or very tiny circle of people who we can trust in the internet as it is. I'm taught from day one to trust nobody on the internet side. Right? Because I can't tell your private energy. I don't know what your algorithms look like. I don't know who you're really selling to. I only see fallout from when you misbehave. What about the stuff that you misbehaved, but there was no fallout and I never know about it? I didn't hear you apologizing about that one. So if I have a company that apologizes no matter what, then I have trust in them. If I hear from companies after they're exposed and they apologize, then I can't trust them because I know there's 50 other times that somebody got hacked and the only reason they came and said they were sorry is because they got busted. And that is the exact opposite of people who I trust in my close personal world. And then the people I do business with, one instance of someone doing that and saying that or behaving that way, I'd pull the plug in 2 seconds because there's so many honest people who've got virtuous principles that they apply to. I want to take my business to them. I want to support the people who are doing things the right way. I don't want to forgive the guy who's probably going to screw up again, just going to be better at hiding it this next time. But like I suggested with the Amazon, with the Facebook, with the Google, we're bought into these things beyond the point where us just pulling our support from it is going to be effective because we won't do it. We need it too much. It's become a commodity without us having another option. We're allowing Amazon to put stores out of business. So by the time they start misbehaving, what are we going to do when they start misbehaving? Shop locally, right? Oh, those have been boarded up for 5 years, Joe. You can't do that. All right, so that's what I'm saying. We're down when we accumulate too much power in at one point. It's just a matter of time before we decide that we really don't want to do business with you anymore, and we really don't have a choice. And then that's a really awful time to be involved when you can't. Now we could do something about it right now. We can decide, hey, we just saw Toys R Us close, right? Guess who did that? We did that. We shopped at Amazon, we got lower prices, and now there's people down the road who don't have a job, and maybe something will go in there, but it won't be toys. Okay, so toys, that goes away. Another company, they decide, hey, there's nothing left in toys either. So now what? After all of the toy places and the people that sell toys are all gone, and Amazon's a place where you go to get toys, what's going to stop them from misbehaving? The only reason they're able to misbehave is because you've given them that power. Now, early on, let's just say, oh, Facebook, hey, I don't want you. I'm not going to do business with you unless we decide as a community. The principle is you're not allowed to share my stuff unless you run it by me. Make it difficult to en masse just share all of my data and wholesale it and sell it. Okay, I don't mind you making advertising, but let me know what I'm participating in. Right now, go ahead and have that same conversation. They don't care. You'll be replaced by 5 other people by the time you decide to, desubscribe and unfriend and, cancel your account. So they're not going to, unless everybody en masse just walked out the door and they're like, whoa, we got to change our business model. Because we have control as consumers that if that's the way we want to operate, we hold the keys to our own kingdom and we'll lend them to you, right, for a price. And the price would be, for me, is everything that I put on Facebook is assumed private. If you want something from me, I will sell it to you just like you sell me ads. I will give you my information for $1 per month. You can choose to do it and not. But I'm here to use a service, and I'm not doing it in exchange. It is free to me, and you're going to get ad revenue. If you want anything else, I'm deciding as a community here that you're going to buy it from me some way, somehow. Okay, then if we have that conversation early, Facebook changes, they realize that it's too expensive to sell people's information and they're not going to do it, and then it's a whole different thing. Like I said, we're beyond that gate now. Now we get to decide our interactions with the people that we trust. How much do we trust Amazon to not misbehave? How much do we trust Facebook not to misbehave? So while I was watching that whole thing, I'm like, he answered the questions right. He's a super intelligent guy, providing a service that's amazing, and up to this point has walked a pretty straight line. So I don't think he's an idiot. I don't think, that he's maliciously, turning marketplaces against people and setting up the government for failure and rigging elections and aiding Russian spies. I don't think any of that's happening. I think through the neglect of the, selling information, didn't realize that somebody, if you're so eager to sell information, somebody's going to buy it for, bad reasons eventually. And that's just you realizing it as a company too late. That's something that you need to defend against, and you have to do it in a way that the people who are paying that price, you didn't ask me, I'm paying that price for it, and you used me and my information to do that deal. And that's when we say, hey, next time you come and ask, I'm going to be a little reluctant to just give you the keys of the kingdom. That's where that trust is eroded. And I think it's really healthy in these environments to have that trust eroded regularly, because it puts those people in check. So I'll tell you, when I'm out in the field, okay, I'm just like anybody else. When I'm serving a customer for so many years, I get into my habits, and I'll go and check in with certain people, make sure everything's okay, and I am at strict attention if I get a sense that there's another computer guy in this environment, right? I go into competition mode, where I know I've got to be at my best, and it keeps me in check. Then I go through my things like, hey, well, normally I would check with blah, 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 blah. Now I'm going to check with everyone, right? And I'm going to rub people's feet when I'm going through the building, and I'm going to be super tech guy because there's competition in the building. That keeps me honest and makes sure that I'm always at my best. So the marketplace needs that to be kept in check through competition. The same competition that makes me a better service provider, knowing that if I don't do the right job, someone's going to. And now if I had the ability to bankrupt all of my competition, I wouldn't do it, because that is terrible for me. It's as well terrible for you as the consumer, but think of how bad I would become if I didn't constantly have to improve myself. It would be awful for myself, and it would be awful for the community. So that's what I'm saying, like, why we have the choice to still put some competition, even if it's, against the will, against the odds. We got to keep some of these other companies, the ones we feel keep these companies in check, alive and well, and support them, and know when we're doing it, we're going to pay a little bit more, but we're going to do it for a noble purpose, which is keeping everybody honest, so that we can extend trust and not be doubled over on. All right, Fred, I see your call out there. We're going to come back to you and take your call. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be right back.
Hi, Helen. You coming to lunch today?
No, I can't find my red jewel.
Oh, okay. Helen lost her jewelry.
Oh, you know what? Helen is probably playing Jewel Quest on iPlay.com.
Hi, Helen. You meeting the girls for dinner?
No, I'm busy with a new romance.
Oh, okay.
What is she doing tonight?
Helen says she's with a man?
Oh, she's playing Dark Romance on iPlay.com.
Helen, it's bridge night. Want to come over early?
Lucky 7, come on, baby, show me the jewels. Jackpot.
What?
What's going on?
Helen is in Las Vegas with her new boyfriend, and he has her jewels.
Helen is playing Las Vegas Casino on iPlay.com. Download iPlay.com for free to your PC and start your own adventure. You can choose from over 2,500 games. It's fun, easy to use, and if you like it, the low monthly payment lets you play as often as you want.
Hi, folks. Steve Bott from Mark Thomas Ford. Don't forget the Mark Thomas promise. Our goal is the biggest discounts, highest trade-in allowances, best interest rates, and lowest payments. We have brand new Focuses starting at $14,988. Or how about leasing a brand new Edge for only $299 a month? And don't forget, we have guaranteed credit approval with Jim Hannis. Give him a call at 330-398-1532. Stop out and see how low we can go. We're Mark Thomas Ford. We're 2 miles north of Route 82 bypass on Elm Road in Cortland, Ohio. Or check us out on the web at markthomasford.com.
Looking for an awesome job with great pay and benefits? Then listen up. The Keystone Blind Association is currently hiring for clerk folder team members for a federal mail contract in 2 locations in Pennsylvania, Hermitage and Boyers. Positions are full-time with excellent pay and benefits. All candidates must be legally blind and U.S. citizens. Relocation and transportation assistance is available to those in need. To learn more about this position, visit KeystoneBlind.org. That's KeystoneBlind.org, keyword employment. The Keystone Blind Association is an equal opportunity employer.
Hey guys, what puts a bigger smile on your face than driving around in a clean, older 4-wheel drive truck? Imagine pulling into the hardware store in that lifted 85 Chevy K20, or getting all the thumbs up driving down the road in that 76 F-250 Highboy. This is Joe Fire from Fireball Motors. We sell those trucks. We specialize in non-rusty West Coast trucks from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s that are under 10 grand. We are located on Route 422, just an 1/8 mile from the PA border, or online at fireballtrucks.com. And remember, Fireball means 4-wheel drive.
The United States Postal Service has been around since 1775, and since then, you can rely on the Postal Service to make sure what matters to you gets to your mailbox. You'd think you couldn't improve on that. But now, with informed delivery notifications, you'll know when those important packages and letters are coming to your mailbox, with an email every morning telling you what's on the way. It's the reliability of the United States Postal Service matched with the technology of today. It's time to get peace of mind. Sign up now for free at informeddelivery.com. Informed Delivery. If it's in the mail, it's in your email.
Guess what? Right now is the perfect time to tackle those home projects you've been putting off. So come springtime, you can just sit back and relax. Home Advisor can help get you started. Home Advisor matches you to the right pro for the job in seconds. You can read reviews and even book appointments online. Home Advisor can help with any home project, big or small. Painting, plumbing, even remodeling. Find a great pro now before the busy season hits. Go to homeadvisor.com or download the free app. Home Advisor. Guess what? Right now is the perfect time to tackle those home projects you've been putting off. So come springtime, you can just sit back and relax. Home Advisor can help get you started. Home Advisor matches you to the right pro for the job in seconds. You can read reviews and even book appointments online. Home Advisor can help with any home project, big or small. Painting, plumbing, even remodeling. Find a great pro now before the busy season hits. Go to homeadvisor.com or download the free app. Home Advisor.
You don't remember days, you remember moments. But when the old tapes and photos that hold your cherished memories degrade, or worse, you lose them, they're gone forever. Hi, I'm Nick Mako.
And I'm Adam Baselogger. We started Legacy Box to help you preserve those irreplaceable moments.
Load your Legacy Box with your old tapes, film, pictures, and audio, and send them in. You'll get them back on DVD or a convenient thumb drive.
Visit legacybox.com/USA, and for a limited time, you'll get 40% off your order. legacybox.com/USA.
Selfless service is the guiding principle that drives Army National Guard soldiers to be always ready whenever disaster strikes. They are your next-door neighbors and your colleagues in schools, offices, and factories. To be a Guard soldier is to stand ready to serve at all times for family, for community, and for country. To learn more, log on to NationalGuard.com or contact an Army National Guard recruiter in your area. Sponsored by the Ohio Army National Guard. Aired by the Ohio Association of Broadcasters and this station.
It's 78 degrees.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. We're just talking about some of the Facebook stuff, and here's a little fact. Let's see. They polled 2,500 people, and they figured out that in an average year, those 2,500 people agreed to 75 terms of service. Okay, so when you basically run a program or participating in a website, you agree to adhere to their terms of service. So 75 of those a year. They looked at it, and there was over 2,700 words in each one of those policies, which, if read, all of those people would spend 608 hours reading terms of services per year, which means that none of us actually read the terms of service, and we are all giving permissions in these terms of services that we have no idea that we're giving, rendering them as useless as you can get as agreeing to not set off fireworks when you bought fireworks in Ohio, right? So as consumers, if we know that a policy is one-sided where the person that's providing the service can always say that they told you about it knowing that they've told no one about it, if we up the ante and made it so that let's make it concise, okay? Let's take all the lawyers out of play. And I need you to write a terms of service that has 70 words or less. Okay, and it doesn't count as a terms of service if it has any more words than that. Then the consumers get to say, hey, you know what? Maybe I'll stop and look at your bullet points so I know what I'm agreeing to. You can have all of the, the finer details of those things, but give me the summary. Give me the 7. That would ensure that more people would actually read 75 of those agreements that they entered in on without knowing that they're willfully lying on both sides. I'm telling you that I read it when I say I agreed to it, because why would I agree to something I didn't read? And you would say definitely that they told you that they were going to sell your information to Russia. You agreed to it. Why would you have agreed to it if you didn't read it? So we got that whole charade of meaningless, protections that protect no one. That needs to end. And Facebook and Amazon and everybody else you deal with would have a harder time burying the crappy stuff in the details if we disallowed having such details, knowing that human nature is going to skip them anyway, so don't let them do it in the first place. Right? I know the lawyers are out there groaning because that's half their life is to create lots of words that nobody reads. But, I love you lawyers and everything, but, that's a big burden on the rest of society that doesn't kind of make anything better. So find a different way of, maybe making your living if that's the extent of what it is that you do. So great. I just made a whole bunch of lawyer enemies. That's a fine objective. All right. So I'll give you the phone number for Youngstown Computer. If anybody needs to do service, make sure you write this number down, because even if you don't need the service right now, write it down. There will be a time, and we'd really appreciate it if you gave us that call when it happens. So 330-259-7278. Take that number down. And again, put it right on the side of your computer, because there will be a time, and we volunteer. We'll help you call. All right, Fred and Nick, I know there wasn't a whole lot of time to get to the calls before that, so I will kick this over after this break. So I hope you'll hang on and share with what your experiences are. So you're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be right back.
Here's what's happening in the Valley. The General Motors plant in Lordstown is set to go down to a single shift. That announcement coming yesterday after a plant-wide employee meeting. 27 First News reports June 15th is the last day for the 2 shifts, while the 1-shift schedule will take effect on June 18th. Charges have been reduced in a case of a Youngstown officer's OVI case. Patrolman Daryl Herdman was stopped St. Patrick's Day weekend by a state trooper on the city's west side. At the time, he was charged with both OVI and having a gun with him in the car. Lawyers told the judge it would be difficult to prove Herdman was actually drunk at the time. Both the OVI and weapons charges were dismissed. Herdman pleaded guilty to reckless operation of a motor vehicle. State Attorney Dave Yost officially announced Brookfield schools are now out of fiscal emergency. The school had been in fiscal trouble since 2005 when it first entered fiscal caution. In 2006, that advanced to fiscal watch, then full emergency in 2013. Lieutenant Governor Mary Taylor was in town yesterday. She met with people at the Blue Wolf Tavern in Boardman. She's one of the 2 Republican candidates running for Ohio governor. From the all-new and 2018 Power Chevrolet Buick GMC of Calcutta, Ohio newsroom, I'm Dave Price.
Our next update at 3.
When you see 570 WKBN broadcasting live around the valley, stop by and spin the Pizza Hut prize wheel for a chance to win prizes. All day, every day, 2 pizzas, $5.99 each with 2 toppings each. No one out delivers the Hut. No one out pizzas the Hut.
Hey, Omni Carpet. How can such a little store offer such big savings on carpet and flooring? Those big box guys don't have half the selection, and Omni Carpet beats them every time on price. Plus, your carpet will be installed professionally with the right pad. That's how Rocky Folletti and Omni Carpet can offer such big savings on carpet and flooring and beat the big guys every time. How can such a little store offer such big savings? Find out when you visit Omni Carpet today, corner of South Avenue and Matthews Road in Boardman.
From America's best-selling automobile to the world's toughest trucks, there's a reason why customers are driving from Youngstown, Boardman, Austintown, Hermitage, even Cleveland and Pittsburgh. So come and find out for yourself at our all-new state-of-the-art facility on Route 46. See you at Toyota of Warren.
Join Cavelli Enterprises and Panera Bread in supporting the Rich Center for Autism at YSU and Potential Development Monday, April 9th through Sunday, April 15th with their Pieces of Hope campaign. Visit your local Panera Bread and purchase a puzzle piece shortbread cookie, and 100% of the proceeds from each cookie sold will be donated to the Rich Center and Potential Development. Purchase your Pieces of Hope cookie April 3rd through the 9th at any Panera Bread location in Mahoning Valley and Hermitage, PA. Every cookie counts.
Make Old Dutch Mill Golf Course and Halliday's Winery in Lake Milton your favorite fun time stops. There's something for everyone, from quality golf to great wine, food, live entertainment, and beautiful scenery. Halliday's and Old Dutch Mill are ideal venues for friends, family, reunions, parties, and receptions. There's never a dull moment at Old Dutch Mill Golf Course and Halliday's Winery in Lake Milton. Check out olddutchmill.com and HallidaysWinery.com for this week's events.
Here's why I'm such a huge fan of Simply Safe Home Security to protect your home and family. Now, Simply Safe's home security system is ready for anything that gets thrown at it. For example, if a storm takes your power, well, Simply Safe is ready. If an intruder cuts your phone line, well, Simply Safe is ready. And say an intruder destroys your keypad or your siren, let not your heart be troubled. Simply Safe will still call the authorities and get you the help you need. And here's what I love about this. Maybe you don't need to be ready for every worst-case scenario, but that's what makes Simply Safe Home Security and their system so great. It's always ready. Now, Simply Safe has triple safeguard protection, and that could cost an arm and a leg, but it doesn't. Instead, they only charge you what's fair. You get 24/7, 365 professional security monitoring, $14.99 a month, no hidden fees and no contracts. That's why I recommend Simply Safe to everybody I know. Just go to simplysafehannity.com today. simplysafehannity.com to protect your home and your family. simplysafehannity.com.
When it comes to hiring, you don't have time to waste. You need to get to a short list of qualified candidates fast. That's why you need Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions based on your job requirements. Then zero in on qualified candidates using our intuitive online dashboard. Your time is precious. Let Indeed help you get to your short list of qualified candidates. Post a job today at Indeed.com/hire. Search for greatness. Search Indeed.
When the need for senior care arises, there's no place like home. Your loved ones should never have to give up living at home. Visiting Angels will provide home care for your mom or dad at home up to 24 hours per day, including personal care, meals, and light housework. You'll select your professional caregiver with Visiting Angels. Look up visitingangels.com or call 877-374-LIVE. That's 877-374-LIVE. Franchises are available. Visiting Angels, America's choice in senior home care.
Hi, Tom Bodette with a word on fusion cuisine, where you mix one country's food with another one. I always call that stew, but whatever gets you to dessert. But whether you like a French vichyssoise with Thai chili oil, or you're more into the fusion of American burger and French fry, you'll save more for that meal at Motel 6. It's an intriguing mix of clean, comfortable, and low prices, or as we fusionistas call it, clic-colo. I'm Tom Bodette from Motel 6, and we'll leave the light on for you.
Just ahead, more stimulating talk from the O'Charley's Digital Studios. $9.99 menu, 9 great meals, 1 great price. O'Charley's. Cool your home this summer. Call Mazza Heating and Cooling in Girard, your factory-authorized Bryant dealer. Now, the Storm Team 27 forecast.
Rain showers will develop into the early afternoon with temperatures climbing into the mid-70s. Scattered rain showers will be around this evening and overnight with temperatures sliding back into the lower 40s. In the Storm Team 27 Weather Center, I'm Alex George.
It's 78 degrees.
570WKBN.com, powered by Donnell Ford and DonnellFord.com, where price sells cars and great service keeps customers.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. I am Joe Danier, owner of Youngstown Computer, and this is the place where we come and talk about tech. And we had Fred and Nick that hung on forever, so I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to get right to them. Fred, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate the show. I have two quick questions.
Sure.
Is there a software that I could download that would inventory my drivers and then search the web for updates and download those and install them?
Interesting. Now, as far as like the Evaluate, we use BellArc, and they have a tool that you can download and install, and will sort of take an inventory of all the hardware specs and the drivers. Don't know that I have one that will go out there and download them for you, but I can look into it. I don't have a favorite. I don't know if one exists, but I can look into it for you.
Okay. Second question is I have too many USB devices hanging on the machine. I think there are 4 ports in the back, 2 in the front. And so I got a 4-way USB hub, and I'm having a little difficulty getting that to run. Should that be a plug-and-play? Now, this is a powered USB hub. So I'm thinking it should be able just to recognize a USB device and launch it, but it's not showing up.
Okay, so basically how it works is, and I just learned this last week, that the maximum amount of USB devices that can be put on the operating system will recognize is up to 127. So if you wanted to add hubs, you can keep adding hubs till you get to 127.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the only thing that usually gets in the way of that is that the hubs are usually not as powered as the ones that are natively on the board. So what we like to do is put any of your low power components on the hub, like keyboards, mice, and whatnot, and then put anything that might have a draw on the actual motherboard, because I feel like you can get more power off of the one that's on the board. If they're not recognizing, like, so if you plug in your hub and you put it in one of your USB slots,
right.
When you plug something into it, you get no reaction from the computer whatsoever?
Yeah, it won't recognize an external hard drive, portable hard drive.
Okay, and that's one I would probably put on the actual board. Maybe if you need to take the keyboard and mouse and put it on the hub, and then put the external drive and put it on the on the board, I would probably switch those.
Okay, I'll give it a shot.
Okay,
thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Fred. Appreciate the phone call. And so, and it might be if you take the different power rings, each one of them will be rated in how much how much power they're putting to each one of them. And I don't know what it is, or I would just say it, but I just feel like the computer would be better at, instead of it going down a wire and then being distributed out, I think it'd be better on the actual board. So, but that's a good one. I'm going to tell David down at our shop. He's the one that actually looked it up and found out how many devices. We have a customer who does simulations. And so he has built the cockpit of an aircraft simulator. And think about every control that's in an airplane has a gauge, right? And all the controls, they each has its own USB plug-in. So this has been the biggest use of USB that we ever had. So when I looked at how many USB devices he was plugging in, I had to go back and find out, is this too many? I mean, is this guy going overboard? But fortunately, Windows will support up to 127, so he's nowhere near that. But it'll be every bit of 50 probably. That's pretty amazing. So that's pretty cool. We have a couple customers that also do cars where they have simulated race cars. So instead of going to the dirt track on a Saturday, or going to Daytona and do testing, they can drive their setups in a simulator. So they have a car built around them, but everything else is a computer. All the feedback mechanisms, the inputs, the gauges, all coming from little USB devices that a computer is controlling. So it's pretty sweet how this stuff has progressed. All right, again, Nick has waited forever, so let's hurry up and take this one. Nick, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
Yes, sir, Joe. Thank you.
Sure.
On my desktop, on my personal computer, of course, it's plugged in and everything. When I click on the Chrome Google, where I should, the www.yahoo.com should come up. Well, it doesn't come up, and then the little thing up on the tab that has a tab on the top, on the left that has the yahoo.com. That little spinny thing just goes forever, and then finally it'll click on and say, this site can't be reached. Your ERR connection is timed out. Now, I didn't do anything to it. I can still click on the bar below it and get YouTube or the other Google or anything else that's on there. But for some reason, that Yahoo doesn't come up anymore. What happened?
Well, you're going to want to reset Chrome back to factory here. And there's probably an extension or some kind of add-in that's messing with the whole interface. So the first thing you're going to want to do is if you go into the options, like the ellipses at the very end of the toolbar, and go down to settings, if you go to the advanced settings, at the very bottom, there's a little button that says restore settings to their original defaults. And then what that's going to do is disconnect all of those extensions and all of those add-ons that happened after it was installed the first time. Now, you're going to want to use it right after you do that reset. Reset probably takes about 30 seconds, and it resets it back. Your bookmarks will stay, and your password saves will stay, but everything else will be detached. Now try the same thing. Make sure that you can get to your start page, and being that it's reset, when it opens up the first time, it's going to be that Google navigation one. So that if you had a start page before, you want to go back to that settings screen and not go quite down as far to the advanced, and there's a little 3 options, open in a new tab, continue where you left off, or open a specific page. And you're going to hit the one that says open a specific page and put your yahoo.com in there. When you close that down, the next time you open it up, it should be just your Yahoo start page or whatever you're used to seeing. And now you can build back in any of those toolbars or anything else that you had in ad-wise. I just have a feeling something's misbehaving and it's throwing everything out of whack. So resetting it back at least gets you back to a starting point.
Okay. I'll try that.
All right.
See what I can do. If I'm not having any luck with it, can I bring the computer down to your shop?
For sure. Absolutely. Yeah, you can drop it off with those guys and they'll take care of it.
Okay. But we won't have to go through the whole process we did before that's kind of pricey to get it. I don't have any bugs or worms or anything in it that I know of. You know, I just have this problem getting the screen to come up.
Yeah, and if we know it's something simple like that, just let them know that you just want to schedule a 15-minute block, and they'll make sure it's appropriate. They don't have to take it for a full hour if there's only 15 minutes worth of work. So just make sure you mention that to them, that you want something very specific, and then they know when they go in there, they're firing it up, doing that set of services, and then sending you off on your way.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks, Nick. Appreciate the phone call. Appreciate you being out there. 330-729-9977. Let's go to Bill next. Bill, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
Yes, helping a friend out with a computer that's running really, really slow. It's an E-machine. I think it's 2.6 megahertz or 2.66 megahertz, 3 gigs of RAM, and a 500 megabyte hard drive. Went in, I checked. There's plenty of space on the hard drives. So it's not filled up. I went in and dumped, she's running Windows 7.
Okay.
So I went in and I dumped the temp file in the Windows folder, got that cleaned out because sometimes that has a tendency to fill up and slow it down. And I checked the fragmentation, came back at 33% fragmentation. And I suspect that's where the problem's at.
Yes, probably.
Yeah, so what I did was I tried to do the defrag, and it only got to 19%, and it just hung up there. So and I did that out of the system tools, and I went in through Norton and tried to do it through Norton, and it didn't work through Norton either.
Okay, so your hard drive is going to be the weakest link there. It's going to be the slowest component. I'm going to convert a lot of what you said to gigahertz and gigabytes because I'm assuming that's what you meant. I haven't seen a 200 meg hard drive in a long time. So let's just assume that the hard drive is just slow and it's pretty fragmented and something's wrong with it so that Windows can't actually defragment it. Now, I would probably suspend all of the Norton stuff that's going on because we don't want it interfering in that process, and we want to do an F disk, and make sure that the drive is in good, make sure it's in good shape before it can do defrag. Because if there's disk errors, then when it when it goes to defragment, it's going to hit a bunch of errors and it's going to bomb out. It's not going to continue on. So you want to make sure the disk is healthy, and then you can do the defragmenting. And so when you say that there's enough hard drive space, are we talking like 25% free, 50% free?
Yeah, it's 500 megabyte or 500 gigabyte hard drive, and it's about 60% free.
50% free. Okay. So a lot of times, and this doesn't apply to you, but anybody else listening, that you've got a page file that will take up a portion of a drive that maybe you think you have about 10 gigs, but your page file is 6 gigs. And so whereas, there's just not enough operating space for the machine to go through and defragment the rest of the drive. In your case, that's not it. I have a feeling that there's probably something wrong with the data that's on the hard drive, and you running a fix on the file system or fix on the individual files that will probably get it so that the defragmenting will be able to happen.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you say run fdisk?
Yeah, if you go to Disk Tools, you can right click on it and go to Tools, and then you can do error checking, and then the next time it reboots, it will run the error checking when Windows is going in, so you don't have to mess around with the command. I think I gave you the wrong command anyhow, so just do it that way, where right-click on the drive, go to Tools, and then go to error checking, and it'll take care of it the next reboot.
Yeah, and that's, again, it probably takes 10 minutes to boot up, and when I tried to do a reboot, it just hung up, it wouldn't go.
Yeah, but it might even be a drive that's starting to fail out. Again, it's the slowest component, so that if it starts to go, it doesn't go all at one time. It slows down, over a period of time. So you might just be at the tail end of the life of that machine, and it might not be worth going any further. So if it's not something quick like a defrag, you probably want to pull the plug on some point and just get into some equipment.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thanks, Bill. Appreciate it. And, we've nursed some machines along when it was appropriate, but you get to a point where there's sort of that diminishing returns thing where you're at the end of a 8-hour cleanup session, you still have a computer that's 10 years old. So you got to kind of say what you'd be willing to put in with time and resources before it just makes better sense to put 5 hours into getting a new computer ready, because your time is worth something. So, again, unless it's you have affinity for a certain computer, I probably would not. So let's go to Jim next. Jim, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
I own a few concert DVDs. I'd like to know if there's an easy way of maybe extracting a couple songs off of it and throwing those into iTunes. I'm on a Mac.
Yeah, and iTunes makes it pretty easy to rip those from disk down. So basically in iTunes, you're going to let the disk load. You're going to navigate on the left to where the disk is, right-click on whatever the song title is, and there'll be an option. I think they still term it as rip. And so you're just going to make a copy down to your iTunes library and get it off of the disk.
Now, this is a DVD, though. It's not a normal music CD.
Okay. So so how are they authored on there? They're authored as video tracks, or they're still just doing audio tracks? Like when it's formulated.
I don't know. See, I didn't do any of this through iTunes, so
okay.
I guess I don't know.
Yeah, when you load it up, iTunes is going to interpret it as an audio CD or a video CD or just a bunch of MP3s. If it's just a bunch of MP3s, then you're just going to copy the MP3s down local. If it has to extract it from the native format for audio, then you've got to convert it from whatever it is into like an MP3, so then iTunes can manage it. So it all depends on how it was edited.
Okay, so I'll just have to look into this a little bit better, though, but go through iTunes.
Correct. iTunes is probably your easiest bet to get it ripped.
Okay, well, thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks, Jim. Appreciate it. And while I can't say that I have actually done a DVD and tried to rip it, I've done a ton of audio ones. I'm halfway tempted to try to find something that's put together. I have a feeling if it's on DVD like that, you're going to look into it and it's MP3s. Just copy those suckers down to the hard drive and tell iTunes to index it, and you're done. You don't have to rip it. It's only if it's in that weird native, CD player version that you're going to have to do anything, with it. So thanks for the phone call, Jim. We're going to take some text messages when we come back. So if you want to get your question read on the air, maybe too timid to call, you can hit me that way, 333-1570, and I'm going to go check those here in a minute, and we'll make sure we read those when we get back. All right, you're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be right back.
Four Seasons Flea Market at 3000 McCartney Road, open every Wednesday and Sunday from 8 till 4 with close to 1,000 small businesses under one roof, all offering something different like fresh produce, baked goods, fresh flowers, sports memorabilia, masseuse and palm reader, or how about knives and more for the outdoorsman. Four Seasons Flea Market offers homemade oils and scents plus T-shirts and pet items for Christmas. There's so much to see, you just have to stop by. Four Seasons Flea Market, McCartney Road in Camel.
Hi, this is Dan Rivers. Americans, we are a busy lot, huh? Always on the move. In the car, in the office, working around the house. We can't sit still. So how do you, as a marketer, connect with those moving targets? Radio. It reaches 93% of Americans each week. People just don't have the time to sit and watch TV. So when you want to connect with all those constantly moving targets, get AM/FM working for you. Just go to iHeartMedia.com.
Dutch Boy's new Platinum Plus paint with Stain Shield technology has the performance you expect from a luxury paint at a price you didn't. Platinum Plus is up to 50% more washable and stain resistant than a leading premium paint in satin sheen. Superiority ranges from 24 to 50% depending on sheen selected. Platinum Plus keeps your walls looking new longer. Menards and Dutch Boy paint have you covered. Go ahead, live your life.
Right now at Menards, get 11% off everything, including Dutch Boy paint.
Hi, this is Bob Davis with Fairway Ford in Canfield. We have an unbelievable truck inventory with over 400 F-150s and Super Duties available. We have STXs, XLTs, Lariats, King Ranches, Platinums, and Limiteds. Your #1 F-150 dealer in the region, including Ohio and Pennsylvania, is Fairway Ford, your Ford truck headquarters. And we pay top dollar for your trade-ins. See us at fairwayfordohio.com or 330-533-FORD. Fairway, that's the way we do business.
Guess what? Right now is the perfect time to tackle those home projects you've been putting off. So come springtime, you can just sit back and relax. Home Advisor can help get you started. Home Advisor matches you to the right pro for the job in seconds. You can read reviews and even book appointments online. Home Advisor can help with any home project, big or small. Painting, plumbing, even remodeling. Find a great pro now before the busy season hits. Go to homeadvisor.com or download the free app.
Home Advisor. When it comes to hiring, you don't have time to waste. You need to get to a short list of qualified candidates fast. That's why you need Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions based on your job requirements. Then zero in on qualified candidates using our intuitive online dashboard. Your time is precious. Let Indeed help you get to your short list of qualified candidates. Post a job today at Indeed.com/hire. Search for greatness. Search Indeed.
Hi, Tom Bodette with a word on fusion cuisine, where you mix one country's food with another one. I always call that stew, but whatever gets you to dessert. But whether you like a French vichyssoise with Thai chili oil, or you're more into the fusion of American burger and French fry, you'll save more for that meal at Motel 6. It's an intriguing mix of clean, comfortable, and low prices, or as we fusionistas call it, clic-colo. I'm Tom Bodette from Motel 6, and we'll leave the light on for you.
If you are tired for no reason, it may be a vitamin D deficiency. Tune in Sunday morning, 8:30. Find out the solution. Sunday morning, 8:30, 570 WKBN.
All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free. That's iHeartRadio. All your favorite music.
This is Mick Jagger of the Rolling Stones.
Hi, this is Mick Jones of Foreigner on iHeartRadio.
And iHeartRadio is all your favorite stations. Thousands of the best radio stations from across the country. Plus, iHeartRadio is free. Download the app today. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
iHeartRadio. It's 78 degrees.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. Just real quick, people ask me all the time if I am a geek or a nerd, and I wanted to address that because some people appreciate that, and it's fun to, refer to technically minded people as geeks or nerds. It's not a flattering thing, I don't think, for most people. The people that are sort of have the gift of linear thinking, very mathematical, very right side brained. We become very focused and being good at one thing, and we're overdeveloped in that one thing. So what typically happens with that set is that they become awkward in all other settings. Okay, so that the term, and it's not meant to be endearing, is meant to be that you're very proficient, and we respect the fact that you can fix computers, but in all other ways, I probably wouldn't want to hang out with you because you drive me crazy. So I can appreciate when you refer to people in here as that, nerds or geeks. It's really not for me. I think that I've kind of pushed through that stereotype, and I've become good at a lot of different things. So you can't pigeonhole me in that, I'm only good at the technical. I was a business guy before I was a technical guy. I just happened to know technical. I mean, my parents put a computer in front of me when I was a young kid, and I was idealistic, and I always, I tore things apart constantly, and I used my imagination, and I saw opportunities in anything, and everybody, I just had a long runway to experiment in my head. And so when it came to technology, it was a means to an end as I went through school, and I really wanted to be a psychologist and help people. So it just was what I was going to do. Is I was most gifted in that department, so that's what I, started off with. And made a business, built a whole business around that ability. But I'm not just stuck there, where I transcend that, and I'm moving into the the business space and entrepreneurs and finance and all that kind of stuff. So you really can't, for me. But also, when you meet somebody who's technically minded, you probably just want to let them know that you have an appreciation for them knowing something that you don't know, without suggesting that they're awkward in all other things. So I don't know, it's a little bit of tact, I guess. And I guess you hurt their feelings a little bit because they might be, I don't know. Anyway, again, the Youngstown Computer phone number, if you need any computer services, we'd appreciate you give us a call when that time comes, 330-259-7278. We are located over on 600 Youngstown Poland Road, and we really appreciate everybody who came out. It was a huge week for us, and I really appreciate everyone who supports us, and we're going to support you right back over the next 10 years that we do business here in Youngstown. So again, thank you to everybody who does business with us and also supports this show. Have a great week. You listen to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN.